All right, Shalom. I want to start by saying, Kahallah, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Kakadash. Double honor to the Apostle of Israel, aka the Apostle of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth for sincerity. All right, real quick, this is from NBC News, Channel 4. Very, very credible and well-known news source. This reads, face recognition tech gets Girl Scout mom booted from Rockette's show due to where she works. Okay, now, this is, I think it's just in Madison Square Garden. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read the article. And really, before I get into the story, this is all gradualism, all part of the new beast system, man. Okay, because when you read the article, I read it, I'm like, oh, shit. This is basically preparing the people for being cattle. Okay? So it reads, an attorney whose firm, this is a little caption. It says, an attorney whose firm is in litigation with MSG Entertainment was barred from attending a Radio City Rockette show with her daughter and other Girl Scouts because the company's facial recognition technology knew where she worked. NBC New York Sarah Wallace reports. A recent incident at Radio City Music Hall involving the mother of a Girl Scout is shedding light on the growing controversy of facial recognition as critics claim it is being used to target perceived enemies, in this case by one of the most famous companies in the country. Now, obviously this woman wasn't a violent so-called, threat or whatever, but it says she was a threat due to where she works and what she does and who she's affiliated with. It says Kelly Conlon and her daughter came to New York City the weekend after Thanksgiving as part of a Girl Scout field trip to Radio City Music Hall to see the Christmas Spectacular show. But while her daughter, other members of the Girl Scout troop, so first I thought it was talking about the Girl Scout, like, dang, Girl Scouts employee? But it says while her daughter and other members of the Girl Scout troop and their mothers got to go enjoy the show, Conlon wasn't allowed to do so. That's because to Madison Square Garden Entertainment, Conlon isn't just any mom. They had identified and zeroed in on her on some enemy of the state shit as security guards approached her right as he got into the lobby. It was pretty simultaneous, I think, to me going through the metal detector that I heard over an intercom or loudspeaker, she told NBC New York. I heard them say, woman with the long dark hair and a gray scarf. And she said she was asked her name and to produce identification, but they already knew who she was. Okay? They already knew who she was. Because of facial recognition. And you heard all these things with that new app that's saying that where people are making themselves look like cartoons. They talk about this whole thing that is going to the FBI, that all this type of shit. And this is America. This is that new digital world. Okay, so where they know exactly who you are before they even approach you. And it says a sign says facial recognition is used as a security measure to ensure safety for guests and employees. Now, was this woman really a threat to the guests and employees at Madison Square Garden? Hell no. Okay? It says, but the guards still kicked her out with the explanation that they knew she was an attorney. They knew my name before I told them. They knew the firm I was associated with before I told them. And they told me I was not allowed to be there, said Conlon. Conlon is an associate with the New Jersey-based law firm, which is Davis, Saperstein, and Solomon, which sound like rats, which for years has been involved in personal injury litigation against a restaurant venue now under the umbrella of the MSG Entertainment. So she's caught up in the mix of a restaurant that's connected with MSG. So she has no dealings with MSG, but now that this restaurant venue is under MSG now she does. I guess they call it common interest. And it says, I don't practice in New York. I'm not an attorney that works on any cases against MSG, said Conlon. But your firm works against the restaurant venue that's in MSG. So that's the connection. And it said, but MSG says she was banned nonetheless, along with fellow attorneys in that firm and others. MSG instituted a straightforward policy that precludes attorneys pursuing active litigation against the company from attending events at our venues until the litigation has been resolved. Which I really don't see a problem because, like, yo, you're doing things against us, so you can't really fault them. But it's like, all right, but isn't it supposed to be public? But it's like now it's like it just sets a precedent on how things are going to be from here on out. Especially if you're in a certain kind of line of work. Now, what does that do for the profits of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua? And what does that do for that new charagma they're gonna bring out? This is something like this is of that same thing. It's all gradualism. And it says, While we understand this policy is disappointing to some, we cannot ignore the fact that litigation creates an inherently adverse environment. All impacted attorneys were notified of the policy, including Davis, Saperstein, and Selman, which was notified twice. A spokesman for MSG Entertainment said in a statement, but she didn't know that, I guess. It said this whole scheme is a pretext for doing collective punishment on adversaries who would dare sue MSG and their multi-billion-dollar network and Sam Davis, a partner at the firm where Conlon works. Other firms have sued over being blacklisted. Conlon said she thought a recent judge's order in one of those cases made it clear that ticket holders like her may not be denied entry to any shows. MSG stated that in a particular situation, only the one attorney who chose to attend was denied entry, and the rest of her group, including the Girl Scouts, were all able to attend and enjoy the show. So she had to go inside. I don't know if she let her daughter go inside, but the people she came with got to go inside, enjoy the show, and she had to get escorted out. And it said Davis is now upping the legal ante, challenging MSG's license with the state liquor authority. The liquor license that MSG got requires them to admit members of the public unless there are people who would be disruptive, who would constitute a security threat, which I'm pretty sure this woman wouldn't, said Davis. Separating a mother from her daughter and her Girl Scouts she was watching over, and to do it under the pretext of protecting any disclosure of litigation information is absolutely absurd. The fact they're using facial recognition to do this is frightening. It's an un-American to do this. No, well, this is American, man. And that go to show what kind of time they on now in America, man. This is what's going on. Facial recognition. Facial recognition. This is where we at. It says a spokesperson for MSG reiterated in a statement that safety is their highest priority and that facial recognition is just one of the methods they use. MSG Entertainment also said it is confident their policy is in compliance with all applicable laws, including the New York State Liquor Authority. Hey, man. That's going to show like what's going on, man. This the system. This is what's going on. I ain't going to play the video, but hey, man. And what's going to be next? What's going to be next? The Motb. The BIP. Okay? Hey, man, I just want to bring that out because, this is where we at. A freaking mother and her girls, like that. And that's going to show that they're going to label Americans. It's going to be the government versus Americans, man. The rich, the super rich against the other people, man. I don't have no scriptures lined up. I just wanted to bring this article because this is something that should be this is something that's going to be an ongoing thing because this is from here on out. So now this woman, being a lawyer, and the firm she works for, being that they're against a venue that's connected with MSG, caused her to where she can't go to Madison Square Garden no more. But you know what? The hell with it, man. This is a ploy. This is a ploy to be for the government against the people, man. And this is a lawyer. So what about these regular Joe Smo niggas, man? What you think it's gonna be when you affiliate with a certain thing and facial recognition comes up and all these apps, the apps where niggas was putting their face all over the app, these social media apps, our faces are everywhere anyway. But it's like these apps they're using now, recent apps. There's a certain app where people are making their faces look like cartoons and shit, and they're saying that actually helping facial recognition is putting something in some kind of database. I'm not exactly sure the ins and outs of it, but hey, man, we're going through an enemy of the state type shit right now, man. So I just wanted to bring it out. So with that, hopefully it was edifying. Being prepared for these things, and it's only going to escalate to where we get into this beast, try to get his system off the ground fully. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna say shalom.